Jordan, hey, congratulations on your new film, Uppercut.
Thank you. Thank
You know,
you. So excited about it.
you know what? You're wonderful in this film. You had me convinced that you're a genuine boxer. But tell us first of all, what initially attracted you to this project, Uppercut?
You know what initially attracted me was the ability to stretch myself as an actor. I have a love for boxing films. I have a love for underdog stories. And for this to come across my desk, it really was a great challenge. Was one of those things where, as an actor, you see, okay, I want to jump into this and I want to give it my all. So I had to start training. I had to change my diet up. You know what I mean? And really get a chance to dig deep into this role. Who Pain is a character who has a lot of self-determination, and has a lot of persistence, and to really be able to lock into that was something that really excited me.
Now, as an actor, you're trying to play a boxer, such as Payne here. In which is actually much harder to, is it to get into the mental capacity of a boxer or the physicality of a boxer?
You know what's interesting with this character? I think for me, it was the physicality because the mentality was super clear. It was a thing that, like, as an actor, it's like I could find my way through that, which is, I think Pain reminds me of the kind of young men who kind of find their worth in the sport. And it's like, if I can do this thing good, then I must be good. If I can do this thing successfully, then that means that I'm successful. And to really be able to understand, like, no, he gives this his all because to him, this is his identity. You know what I mean? This is all he has. The world has thrown him away. The world has said, you're not this and you're not that. And this ring is the only place where he sees himself of value. So that was the place that I could find, as especially as a writer too. It's like, okay, I can jump into that. But the physicality, that was something, you know what I mean? That's not something you can do in a quick that's not something you can do in a quick beat. It's like it takes time, it takes discipline, and it takes a lot of training. Yeah.
So tell us about that training process. When did you actually start and how long did it took you?
So I started about 6 months before we shot.
Mhm.
A lot of it was even before getting into boxing techniques. A lot of it was just getting stamina in shape, getting body in shape, and all these things. And I just came off of Broadway when I started, so thankfully the stamina was a little bit up, so I didn't have to start from ground zero. But it was definitely something new for me. And then once we started working on set with the team on set, the trainers on set who are real boxers, it's like it was, I wanted to impress them. As an actor, you go there, it's like, okay, they think I'm just an actor who wants to come in. So it's like, how can I do it? And by the end, I had earned that respect because it's like, no, you got to keep with it. You got to keep with it nonstop. And it was really cool. It was really cool. It was an experience that I will never forget.
Now, before you took on this project, you actually knew nothing about boxing, right? Besides the boxing movies.
Listen, all I knew was Rocky. That was it. No, I didn't really know much about boxing technique. Other than the normal, when you're in the gym, you want to do a 1-2, 1-2, punch it back. You know what I mean? But to really get into the game and get into the mindset of this character, yeah, that was a lot of research. Yeah.
So after this entire, process and training, what did you personally learn about boxing?
Yeah, I learned that it was a lot like life. There are moments where you got to duck, and there's moments where you got to hit, and there's moments where you're in the corner of the ring and you got to get out. There's moments where you down on the ground and somebody's gonna be counting to 10 and you got to get your butt up. There's a lot of metaphors within the sport, and to be able to take those life metaphors and put them into physical form and use them here. You know what I mean? That's a special thing.
Be really, it feels good about it. Tell us about the choreography
Yeah.
on screen. What was it? Was that a challenge?
It was tedious. It was tedious because when you're learning the choreography, you're going real slow. And actually, you know what I mean? You're going real slow. It's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you here, then you duck, then you move, then you block, then you know what I mean? And but when Torsten, our director, when he says action, it's not this, it's boom, 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 right? So if you forget to duck when you rehearse the duck, you gonna get hit. You know, it was very. You have to stay present. You have to stay on your toes. And there were a couple times, when you get hit, but that adrenaline is moving so much, like a real boxer. It's not until after you rap that day that you're like, I don't feel like a human being anymore. My body is over me.
So was there a sparring partner like a stuntman, or was it actually another
Oh.
actor?
No, it was a stuntman. It was a stuntman. So he was a real boxer. So everybody that I worked with was real boxers. I was the only actor in the ring.
Was that a bit intimidating for you?
Yeah, but also excited me because it was like, okay, then I know I can't fake it. You know what I mean? I know I have to actually push myself and really see how far I can go because it's not like we're not just like playing kitty paws. You know what I mean? It's like we're really getting into it, which I think is what the film required.
Now, one of the toughest things also, especially portraying a boxer on screen, is that a lot of time the cinematography, they always have you box with the camera. How different is that? I mean, is that does that pose a different type of challenge for you as an actor?
It does. It does, but I was okay, so I was a weird kid. I was the kind of kid who like I always knew that I wanted to do films and I always knew that I wanted to be in movies. So this is so crazy. This is so cuckoo. But I would like be walking down the street, walking to school, and I would pretend like there was a camera in front of me. And I had to ignore the camera and just walk, you know what I mean? And so there's a lot of it's kind of that same thing, tapping back into that. It's tapping back into this camera isn't present. And I'm looking directly into this person's eyes. Which can be challenging depending on what the movement is and what you're doing. But once you're locked in, you just got to be locked in. You just got to be locked in.
Now, on a project like this, which is different because the fact is that technically you're not the main character, but even though it is a boxing movie, the the limitations of a casting. Could you talk about because I want to say most of your scenes is actually with Joanna in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, they are. Which is like what? Like Joanna Cassidy, such a legend. But to be able to work with this amazing cast, and I didn't have any scenes with Ving, but to even be sharing a screen with him is just iconic. And Luise, amazing, absolutely amazing. So, and she's reprising her role, from the German version, and it's just everything is really, really it's really, really beautiful. The cast was great. Everybody's energy was amazing. That's what you hope for when you go on a set. You hope for, people who are not a-holes, and to be, welcomed by such a open-hearted crew and Torsten so open-hearted and everybody just loves movies. When you love movies, you make good movies. And so that was a really special experience.
Now, with this project over, do you still keep up with your boxing or you let that go?
I still keep up with it. I still because I think it's great cardio. Yeah, it's great cardio. So I still try to keep up with it.
Jordan, so far your career is still young. You played a variety of different type of roles. What is still on your list that you actually play? Because obviously boxing is not in a lot of people's list, but it is a dream for many.
It is. It is. You know what I also want to do? I can't wait to play a superhero one day. A
Oh,
superhero or a supervillain or just something in that realm of, you know what I mean, of like crime fighting and flying and all the things. I can't wait to get in harness.
oh wow, that does sound pretty cool. Do you have a superhero in mind or that you always adore?
I have a few. I have a few that's like been in my like on my like bucket list in my notes, buried in my notes of like what characters do you want to play? So it's like but one of these days I'm gonna get one. One of these days I'm gonna get one.
Well, I can't wait for that day to actually happen. So what's up next with you, Jordan, to wrap things up?
Yeah, so I'm in the new Freaky Friday movie, Freakier Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, which is coming out in August. So that's gonna be a really, really good time. I can't wait for folks to see it.
Well, I can't wait for folks to see Uppercut too, and watch you be get that experience in the ring. So thank
Hey,
you very much, Jordan, for speaking to us
sure.
about Uppercut.
Thank you. Great to meet you.